and welcome to the video workshop for the UDWPE, the Upper Division Writing Proficiency Exam, or as we'll refer to it in this video, the WPE. For the next half hour or so, we're going to talk about some strategies that will help you when taking the WPE. It's probably a good idea to say right away that many, if not most students, feel some kind of anxiety, if not outright panic, at the thought of taking this exam. Well, first, don't panic. The fact that you are watching the video right now indicates that you are ready for the challenge of taking the WPE. You are about to gain important knowledge about this exam, and as we all know, knowledge is power. That power could translate into a well-written exam and a passing score. So what is the WPE? Who must take it and why? Well, WPE stands for Upper Division Writing Proficiency Exam. It is an essay exam instituted at CSUN in 1982. The test continues to be administered to help determine if students meet the minimum requirement for college-level writing before they graduate. Also, some graduate students, depending on their major, take the WPE as a part of their entrance requirements. Important. Any student who wishes to graduate from California State University Northridge must pass the test. So when should you take the WPE? Well, CSUN recommends that you take the exam immediately after you have completed your sophomore year, which means that you have accumulated 56 semester units. Do not wait until the semester in which you were to graduate to take the exam. Too many students wait, and if they don't pass the exam, they cannot graduate. So the bottom line is, don't wait. Okay, so let's identify the strategies presented in this video. We will be talking about the following: time management, effective reading of the article and prompt, taking a position, brainstorming, organizing, writing in detail, and proofreading.
In a timed essay, time management is important, and the WPE is no exception. You will have 75 minutes to write your essay, and how you budget your time could be an important factor in how well you do on the test. We recommend the following: 5 minutes to read the article and to identify main points or arguments, 5 to 10 minutes to organize and outline, 45 to 50 minutes to write your essay, and 5 to 10 minutes to read over and edit the essay. Remember, these times are recommendations. The important thing is not to skip any of the time management steps. The first thing to realize about the WPE is that it is an extemporaneous essay exam, which basically means that you won't know what the topic is until the exam starts. In a way, the exam measures the reading and writing skills that you've been developing since you first learned to read and write. While you won't be able to learn a magic formula or set of hard and fast rules that will guarantee that you pass, there are strategies that can guide you to better writing, which is the purpose of this video. The exam will generally consist of a one-page article, usually adapted from a newspaper, and 2 prompts indicated by 2 bullet points. The prompts will ask you to identify the main points or arguments that the article makes, and then to explain your position on the topic using your own observations and experiences. Although the article will always be different for each test, the prompts will remain the same. Let's look at the sample in the UDWPE information booklet entitled "The Debt Debate." The article itself is about 1 page long. The prompts ask you to identify the main arguments of the article and to take a position on debt in America. Underline or circle important words or phrases in the article to help you with the first prompt, which again is to identify the main points or arguments of the article. If you're not sure what is important as you read, wait until you've finished the paragraph. You can then briefly write in the margin what you think the author's point is. By the time you finish the article, you will have the main points or arguments of each paragraph, which in turn will make it easier for you to understand the position of the article. All of the exams will be similar. One article, 2 prompts indicated by bullet points. Some students look at each prompt as a section within the essay, and that's fine. It is crucial to remember, however, that the second prompt, the one that asks for your position, is the one that you should spend the most time on. Why? Because it is here that you will be demonstrating your skills as an analytical reader and writer. As an example, if someone asks you what your favorite flavor of ice cream is and you say vanilla, he or she may ask, why? The obvious answer may be that it tastes good. However, there could be other reasons too. Perhaps vanilla ice cream reminds you of picnics with your grandparents, or that vanilla is more refreshing during summer heat waves, or that it's the best base for cherry syrup, or that... Okay, you get the idea. Don't skimp on the second prompt. Once you've read the article, you should have a pretty good idea whether or not you agree or disagree with the author's position. Some students worry about the topic and whether or not they will be informed enough to answer the prompt. Although you may be asked to take a position on a topic you have never thought of before, the article will always cover current issues that your personal experience and general education can support. If you do get an article about a topic you are completely unfamiliar with, look at the context of the information given. For example, here is an article that argues against teaching creationism in high school biology classes. If you don't know what creationism is, you can tell from reading the article what it isn't. It isn't science as per the accepted definition of science. You can also see that it is religious, in this case, Christian. You can also probably guess the conflict that might occur between a scientific view of life on Earth and a religious, literalist view of life on Earth. Just who has the final say in what children in high school are taught is one of the main points of the article. So, even if a topic is unfamiliar to you, it doesn't mean that you can't write about it. Okay, so you have read the article and the prompts, and you have decided on a position. Remember, the readers of the WPE are not looking for you to take a particular position. They are only interested in how well you support your own position. Now, write down your position on the topic the article argues for. This will be your thesis statement. How should you write your thesis statement? Well, the good news is that, in a way, it has already been done for you. Look again at the prompts, specifically the last prompt. It asks, explain whether or not you think credit card debt is a problem in America. Defend your position using your own reading, observations, and experience. Your thesis statement could be as simple as saying, I believe credit card debt is a problem in America. But again, the question is, why have you decided on this position? Be careful here. Because the article makes good points, many students will be inclined to agree with the author. They then state why they agree by using the author's positions as their own. That is fine, but you must remember to use your own experiences and knowledge to support the position the author takes. Don't simply restate what the author says. Looking again at the thesis statement, let's say that you wrote, I believe that credit card debt is a problem in America. Okay, so why? This is where we begin to brainstorm, and we do this first by writing down a list. Consider the article, and then ask yourself the all-important who, what, when, where, why, and how questions. By asking these questions, you can generate ideas. Here are some examples. Who? Americans? Families? Teenagers? Me? What? Credit card debt? Using credit instead of cash? Living extravagant lives? Stuck with emergency costs? When? Since 1989. Today. The present. Where? The U.S., the suburbs, Los Angeles, my house. Why? People lack self-control. They're materialistic. They want to have the latest stuff. Is life too expensive now in America? How? Too much shopping. Too much buying. Not enough saving. Some students prefer clustering as a method of brainstorming. Write your position down and then circle it. Around this bubble, write down reasons for your position and then 2 or 3 details for each reason. In a short amount of time, you can have a page full of reasons and details. No matter which method of brainstorming you use, you have a page full of information for your position. Remember, it's not the method of brainstorming, it's the results. Use whichever method you are comfortable with. Remember that the all-important why is really the basis for your analysis. Let's say you've come up with 6 reasons why you think credit card debt is a problem in America. Three or 4 of them are really worthy of developing. That's fine. Remember, this test is designed to prove that you can write at the college level within a limited amount of time. So it will be a short essay. Getting back to those reasons, you may want to incorporate them into your thesis statement. I believe that credit card debt is a problem in America because. Now you have a more detailed thesis, and better yet, the beginnings of an outline for your essay. Remember, don't ignore your outline. You spent valuable time creating it, so use it. While writing your essay, refer back to it from time to time to make sure you're still on track. If you were writing an essay for a composition class, you would be spending much more time on outlining than what we're suggesting here. Since this is a timed essay, you will keep it brief. Let's look at those 3 reasons again. Write each one in a column. Then below each one, write down why you believe this particular reason is a good one. You will find that there will likely be one reason that is stronger than the other 2. Some believe that this stronger reason should be saved and written about last, and that's what we're going to do. Place the 3 reasons in an outline format from least important to most important. It should look like this. Now you have an outline, with the most important reason being the last one you'll write about. Why is this reason saved for last? Consider the reader. If he or she reads the most detailed, most well-developed reason first, what will the other reasons offer? So, as they say, save the best for last. You've probably heard from teachers to write more concrete details. But what are these concrete details? Consider this object. If it was right in front of you at this moment, how would you describe it? Take a moment and describe it to yourself. Chances are you just used one of your senses, your sense of sight. But what about the other 4 senses? Your sense of smell, sound, touch, and taste? Now, we're not suggesting that you must always use all 5 senses when describing something. No one really wants to know what a car tastes like, right? But Put your powers of description to good use. And remember, a skunk may look pretty and soft, but it's really a person's sense of smell that describes that skunk. P-U. Now, let's try another exercise. She drove to school. Okay, there's really nothing wrong with that sentence, right? But if you were asked to write in specific detail, how would you do it? Remember the who, what, where, when, why, and how questions? When you're taking the exam, you may want to write these words somewhere in the test booklet as a reminder. Considering that sentence, ask yourself, who is she? She is Maria. What did she drive? She drove a Toyota. Where did she drive it? She drove it to CSUN. When did she drive it? She drove Tuesday morning. Why did she drive to CSUN? She drove to CSUN to take an exam. How did she drive? She drove swiftly. Now the sentence, with concrete details, reads better. On Tuesday morning, Maria swiftly drove her Toyota to CSUN to take an exam. Writing details such as these will make your paragraphs more vivid, painting a picture of sorts with specific words. But why say Toyota when you can say Toyota Corolla? That's an even better detail. And what kind of exam did she take? She took a Biology 100 exam. See? Isn't that better? The idea is to name things, not to just talk about them in general. When I was younger, my teacher brought us lunch. It is devoid of detail. When I was 9, Mrs. Wilson, my 4th grade teacher, brought us pepperoni pizza for lunch is a much better sentence because it provides a clear picture of what happened. One more thing. Writing details is not about adjectives. The snail crawled away is fine, but writing the slimy, grotesque, and icky snail crawled away does not add much to the overall sentence. So, you've finished the essay and you have 5 minutes remaining. Use this time to reread what you have written, correcting spelling and punctuation as you go. You may find that you've forgotten an important point in one of the paragraphs and you want to add it. That's a simple problem to fix. If you have space on the page, write the new sentence or sentences and then draw an arrow to it, or them. If you don't have space, turn to the next clean blank page and write there. Include a note in the paragraph that says CA, or go to asterisk on back. Also, do not erase. Erasing takes up valuable time. Simply cross out the sentences or words you don't want the reader to read. The question is always asked by students, how many paragraphs should I have? The answer is however many it takes to answer the prompts. Be aware, though, that 2 paragraphs does not make an essay. You're not required to write the 5-paragraph essay, although it's good to keep in mind. The 5-paragraph essay is simply a general format that reminds you to include, number 1, the introduction and thesis statement, number 2, the body, A, number 3, the body, B, number 4, the body, C, and number 5, the conclusion. Again, you will have all of these in your essay. It's just that it may take a few more paragraphs to get your ideas down on paper. Don't spend a lot of time writing a long introduction and a long conclusion. Remember, this is a timed in-class essay and it will be short. Your introduction could in fact be your response to bullet point 1, in which you identify the main points or arguments of the article. Your conclusion should be just long enough to end your thoughts and to possibly restate your position on the topic. The topic of too much credit card debt is important to all Americans. In fact, my own experience leads me to believe that it is the most important issue facing us today. That's it. For the WPE, that's a conclusion. In an essay that is as short as the WPE essay, you don't need to summarize your whole essay. And now, a few words about grammar. Students often ask, Does grammar count? The answer is yes. Grammar does count. Good grammar is part of good writing. If you need help with grammar, take a writing class. English 090 is geared towards the WPE and will help you with the basic grammar and writing skills you need. WPE workshops and prep sessions are not for students seeking grammar instruction.
There are some final notes about the essay I'd like to share with you as well, some do's and don'ts. A lot of students try to use big words or words they are not familiar with in this essay because they think it will make their essays appear smarter. Well, rule number one is to write in your own words. Don't use words that you are not familiar with or words that you are not sure how to spell. Again, don't simply repeat what the article is saying. That's not analytical writing. You must come up with your own position, which leads us to the next rule. Always take a side, stating whether you agree or disagree with a position. Don't take the middle ground. Take a stand. In your composition classes, your professors may have instructed you not to use the first person I. Don't worry about that here. The WPE allows you to use I, especially if you have first-hand knowledge or experience with the topic. Some other important considerations are: use a pen. Pencil is too hard to read. Also, using a pencil might encourage you to erase, and as we already stated, erasing takes up valuable time. Finally, you may want to read the newspaper a week or so before taking the test. As stated earlier, the articles used in the WPE are almost certainly going to be adapted from newspaper articles, so keeping up with current events is a good idea. Keep in mind that these strategies are very general and may not work for everyone. Take from this video whatever you need to write a good essay, but if you have strategies that work for you, then use them. Thank you for watching this video on the WPE. If you need more information or if you want to see examples of passing essays, check out the WPE online at www.csun.edu/UDWPE or visit the Learning Resource Center on the 4th floor of Bayramian Hall, Room 408, to pick up a WPE information booklet or to make an appointment with a writing consultant. Thank you for watching, good luck, and as always, good writing.